Hello my dear friends, so welcome back. Welcome to your channel Cooking Astrology. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for subscribing my channel and liking my videos. Thanks a lot. So let's continue our long journey and long series of planets through Navamsa Chart in Vedic Astrology. And I've already covered up till the 6th house. And in this particular video, I'm going to start the planets through 7th house of the D-9 chart. And in this particular video, I'm going to help you to understand the Saturn placement in the 7th house of the D-9 chart. What are going to be the results that are particularly associated with this Saturn placement in the 7th house. If you don't know what is 7th house of the Navamsa chart, you can watch my playlist section in which you will be able to understand that part. But in this video, I'm still going to give you one overview with regards to the 7th house of the D-9 chart and how that part is going to be differing from the D1 chart. See, first of all, the 7th house or the planets which are actually posited in the 7th house, they are actually going to have direct impact over the physical and the emotional character of your spouse and life partner. Many individuals during their consultations, they want to know regarding the physical characteristics of their partner, like how my partner is going to look looks wise, regarding the color, complexion, skin, hairs, height, tall, weight, everything I will tell you. So planet which is actually going to be present up there is actually going to show you the exact characteristics. Apart from this thing, the emotional behavior of a person, like how emotionally your partner is going to be, that both physical and emotional characteristics are actually governed by the 7th house. Even 7th house also represents the sustenance of a marriage, like how first of all you are going to deal with the event of marriage, married life aspect. So what is your way of dealing with the relationships? That is actually seen through the 7th house. Even from the first house of the Navamsa chart is you. And if you use the concept of the Bhavad Bhavam here, 7th house is actually going to become the first house of your spouse or life partner. So even if you want to study the journey of your partner, you just need to make the 7th house as a first house and treat it as the first house of a partner. So if the Saturn is present up there, so it's going to be Saturn is going to be dominantly present in your future spouse or life partner. It doesn't matter even if you are watching this video, you are a married person or if you are not married. But I will tell you the planets which are actually posited in the 7th house of D9, they are going to have very strong karmic connection, specifically with your spouse and life partner. If for example Saturn is up there, so it means the same planet Saturn is also going to be in a very strong hold, in a very strong dignity in your spouse and life partner chart. This is also a first way in order for us to actually detect and determine whether this person have the capacity to fructify as your future spouse and life partner. Second is the concept of a tithi also, because by looking into the tithi mean the waxing and waning half of the moon. So based over that part, upon which tithi or which date of the lunar month you were actually born, that will also help us to understand whether this is going to be a karmic, non-karmic relationship or how long that part is going to be there. And that is where the sustenance of your relationship, your marriage is also going to be seen through the 7th house. Apart from this thing, many newly married couple or many husband and wife, they tend to go for a combined business ventures after their marriage. It may be opening up some sort of a hotel chain, restaurant industry. Maybe they are involved into some sort of a medical professions, like both are closely working as a doctors and then they plan to do something else. So that is also seen through the 7th house. If you try to analyze the 7th house of both the male and the female chart, this will eventually help you to even gain more understanding with regards to the business aspect also. Like the kind of business which both male and female, if they try to do, that is going to be very, very best for them. Apart from this thing, rather than planets sitting in the 7th house, the 7th house lord is also going to play a very important role here. Because wherever the 7th house lord goes, not in the D9 chart, in the D1 chart, is also going to actually tell us the direction of the marriage. Similarly, like if the ascendant or the first house lord is going in the 10th house of a career, it means your direction is in the career, or your maximum focus is over that part. Similarly, wherever the 7th house lord of the D9 chart is actually going in the D1 chart, this is actually going to show the direction, like which direction you are going. If it is actually going in the monetary houses, that means the direction of marriage is actually going to take you towards money. If it's in some other houses related to traveling, so this is going to be taking you there. So you need to understand the house significance, but the 7th house lord, wherever it goes, the direction of marriage is also going to be seen through the 7th house. Now, when the planet like Saturn is actually coming in the 7th house, the number one thing is the physical characteristics and the emotional characteristics. Now, Saturn, first of all, is a representation of a very lean personality. Lean, okay? It's on the much slimmer side. Saturn also represents some dark complexion actually. It's dark brownish shade that is actually going to be seen specifically with Shani. Saturn is also a planet which represents the maturity wise your partner is going to be highly mature. Now here I'm not talking about the age maturity. Age gap is seen through the D-9 chart actually, okay? I'm not talking about age maturity, I'm talking about the mental maturity here. Like, have you seen few individuals at the age of 20, they think like a 30-year-old person, or some like 30, they think like a 40-year-old person. So that part of that mental maturity is actually going to be exceptionally high inside the partner. Now, Saturn also represents a little bit of cold-heartedness approach towards the relationship. It means it becomes very, very difficult for them to open themselves up within just 1 to 2 meetings actually. You see, few people are very flexible and adaptable. They tend to go along with the strangers also. Saturn is not that kind of a planet, because Saturn is a planet which actually represents certain restrictions, certain boundaries as well. It also doesn't matter whether Saturn is posited in one zodiac sign or the second. It's the mool swabhav of Shani. Okay, it's the core characteristic of a Saturn. So planet will never ever going to actually lose their core characteristics. If Saturn is going to behave in a cold-hearted manner, that part is going to be particularly seen up there. But in the positive side, this also represents a very mature way of looking into the relationships part. Because if Saturn is in the 7th house of the D9 chart, it means your partner is not going to betray you, or you are not going to gain that kind of a partner which actually have the capacity to jump or move on from one relation to new all the time. Because Saturn is also going to create a fixation, or like this is going to be a very long lasting kind of a thing. So wherever the Saturn is posited, it shows the approach towards looking into the marriage angle is also going to be a very, very long lasting thing. Apart from this thing, if suppose Shani is in conjunction with more than one planets, it may be Saturn, Mercury, Jupiter. So the number of planets that are adding up into the 7th house, it means the mold of character is also going to be coming up there. And if the maximum number of planets are actually in the 7th house, this is not a good thing actually, because this first of all is going to create the mental confusion at the time of choosing a spouse and life partner. Because the more planets in the 7th house, this is actually going to create a lot of undecisiveness. So it becomes very, very difficult for you to decide in just simply one go, like whether I'm going to marry this or that girl. Similarly, same thing applicable to females as well. So more number of planets in the 7th house is not considered as a good thing. Even if this is empty, okay, if the 7th house is completely empty, that also shows the challenges are actually going to be present up there. Like it becomes very, very difficult for you to initially find your spouse and life partner in just one go. So it's very important to have this 7th house balanced with 1 or 2 planets. More planetary energy or the no planet in the 7th house is also not going to help you. Apart from this thing, as I told you, you must need to check the 7th house Lord placement in the D1 chart as well, because that is going to show you the direction of the marriage, or you can also simply call it as the approach towards marriage. Now there are many individuals, they are having different approach angles when it comes to the marriage part, specifically the love life, their relationships as well. Many might going to be considering as a spiritual approach, like my partner must need to be spiritually contributing into my life, and I'm also going to be contributing up there. So this is the number one factor actually, which the other person is going to be do not compromise upon. If suppose you are having some 4 or 5 presetted parameters regarding the emotional bonding, sexual bonding with the partner, childbirth part, family compatibility, maybe the monetary part, the 7th house Lord direction is actually going to create or show that part where your major focus is going to be. And that is the reason I told you, if that Lord is going in the money houses in the D1 chart, so the focus of the marriage is actually going to be shifting towards money. Obtaining money is going to become the chief aim. If it is even shifting towards the 7th house, that is actually the house of business in the D1 chart as well. And that is where the approach of the marriage or the combined angle is then somewhat going to be shifting towards the business part. I have seen many couples actually, because they take a lot of couple consultations. So in order for us to even decide to choose the perfect business option based over the combination of both male and female charts combined together, that is actually going to be seen through the 7th house and the 7th house lot. Now Shani specifically in the 7th house is a strong karka of technical professions as well. But depending over the Jupiter and Venus and Moon influence upon this Saturn and the 7th house lot into the D1 chart, this is also going to suggest some different industries, including export and import business, even food industry, even the persons that are in the medical professions, in the healing professions also. Even both male, female, they working as an astrologer. So these kind of combinations are actually going to be seen through the 7th house. So that house is very, very important in order for us to check during the matchmaking as well. Similarly, if you go back to the playlist in the 5th house, now I told you I put a great emphasis over the 5th house of the Navamsha chart. It's very important. Similarly, 7th house is also going to play very important, because these two houses will actually help us to understand the relationships and the love dynamics in the more and more minute level. Apart from this thing, if for example the planet sitting in the 7th house, or if the Saturn is actually becoming debilitated up there. Now first of all, this is going to be a very halting factor with regards to marriage part. Very difficult for you to get married if the planet is actually debilitated. Now if the same Saturn is also forming some strong connections with the 7th and 8th house of the D1 chart I'm talking about. Like if the sign of Capricorn and Aquarius, if it is falling in the 7th house of your D1 chart, and then the Shani is actually debilitated, then this can also create the combinations of multiple marriages here. Now it also dependent over the axis placement, the Rahu and Ketu axis. Because many a time, in order for us to actually give predictions with regards to the karmic bond between you and your partner, many people, they came to me for consultations with regards to, like, I'm having some sort of a on and off relationship with my partner. So they want to check whether that partner is going to be staying with me or not, or whether this person will came back into my life or not. That is where again this Rahu and Ketu axis is going to play a very important role. Specifically, if you go into the Mahadasha and the Antardasha part as well, specifically Antardasha, okay, if you are going through Ketu Antardasha or even Rahu Antardasha, and during that time frame if someone have manifested in your life, then there are highly likely chances that person is going to have some karmic bond with you. Now karmic bonds, they are not going to be staying with you forever. It's not a long-term bonds actually. Many times these karmic bonds give result from 2 to 15 years of age, but karmic bonds are actually meant to be broken. There is no need for you to get disappointed over that part here, like that person have left me and now it become very difficult for me to find a new person. That is the main challenge with Saturn actually, because Saturn is also a planet which represents a complete loyalty aspect. So Saturn is, it's not possible for the Shani to actually move or jump from one relation to the new or the next one relationship. And that is where the number one thing with this Saturn you want to look is actually stability. Stability in the way where the other person is not willingly going to leave you. I will tell you, many people that have actually suffered through a lot of emotional traumas in their initial life, maybe because of your family, because of your some bad relationship aspects with your 1, 2, 3 bad relationships. The people who are having or dealt with certain emotional traumas in their life, they are also going to have very strong Saturn in the 7th house. The reason why I'm telling you here, I did consultations actually. The reason why I'm making this video, because upon doing consultations, so whatever charts came to me, based over that charts, I pick up the placements of the planets. Okay, so if the I will take from the like median and the mean perspective. If okay, out of 500 people, if they are having Saturn in the 7th house, so let me extract something out of that life. And that is where the emotional traumas are actually going to be strongly connected with this part. Now it also dependent over their family or maybe sometime their past relationships also. But if the Saturn in the 7th house is actually going to creating certain emotional traumas inside you, it's better for you to marry someone who is already going to have some sort of emotional trauma. In that way, your energy will eventually going to match with one another into the much positive way. Because if one person have suffered a lot and the other person have not seen that much sufferings and you are getting married to that person, it becomes very difficult for other person to understand your life actually. And that is where the gap is also going to play a very important role actually. It's very important to not to get married, or specifically the marriages where the age gap is way much higher. Way much mean around 6, 7, 8, 9 years. These marriages are also going to be very difficult actually, because more the age gap, it become very difficult for you to actually understand other person. So these are the few things which you need to take into your consideration as well. Although the overall picture is going to be dependent over your D1 and the D9 chart, but this is the information with regards to the Saturn placement in the 7th house of the D9 chart. I hope you have gained some deep insights in this video with me. If you are having any queries, any consultations, you can feel free to contact me at my email ID. And I will try my best to get back to you as soon as possible. Till then, please feel free to subscribe my channel below. Make sure to hit the like button if you like this video. And thank you so much for giving me this support and sending me super thanks over all my videos. Thanks a lot. And I'm going to meet you very, very soon in the next video. Till then, bye-bye and Hare Krishna.